Hello folks, welcome to the Bush Weasel Hoppy Stop. Thanks for stopping by. Today on the bench we have the Moebius Kits version of the 1970 Ford F100 custom cab in 1/25th scale. This is described as a precision tooled kit that features extraordinary detail and accuracy. The kit is highlighted by a fully detailed interior, accurate 360 cubic inch V8 engine, and detailed chassis. The completed kit measures just over 8 inches long and includes clear and chrome plated parts, soft PVC tires, detailed instructions, and decal sheets. This short video is part 1 of the build series. Like and subscribe to be notified when part 2 is published. Be sure to check out the rest of my channel where you'll find the unboxing video I did of this exact kit. With that, let's get started. So we're going to start off by putting the chassis together, cleaning up a few sprue details, some flash. This kit kind of surprised me with the amount of flash that was in there. But I enjoy that. I enjoy cleaning up parts. But this one was kind of a challenge at times. There's just some fitment issues going on with these. I had to trim off some of the features on those parts in order for them to glue together. The mold lines really weren't too bad. That's just something I like to concentrate on. Getting those seams broken down. Make round parts look round. You know. That's what I enjoy doing. So both axles went together pretty good. Like I said, there's just some cleanup that had to be done. I did the F350 tow truck and that didn't have near as much cleanup required. It had probably twice the parts, but less cleanup. This kit just had a lot of flash. So here I'm going to break out my Dspiae tool. One end is kind of like a scriber or a scraper. The other one is a chisel, and it's got 2 caps that are held on by magnets. This is a very aggressive tool that I found out. So if you get one, just be careful. It's pretty aggressive. If you're looking for one, you've got them on Amazon. I think that's where I got mine. I don't remember the price though, but if you search, I'm sure you could find it. It's the Dspiae. This frame cross member had pretty positive location points on it, so it wasn't really too difficult to put in, but the middle one was. This one. There's really no positive location features on there, so what I ended up doing was cutting the floor pan from the sprue, locating that on the chassis, and letting that determine where that cross member was going to be. Otherwise, it's pretty difficult just to eyeball it in there for sure. If you're going to do this kit, I would suggest doing the same thing. So with the floor pan put in and cross member where it should be, you can go ahead and cement it in. Well, the rear springs on here had a lot of mold lines on there that I had to sand down pretty deep. I was really careful putting the springs in on this kit. When I put the springs in on the tow truck, I didn't put them in quite right, and so I had to cut them away and reattach one side. I just didn't locate them properly. This one I was sure to put in the right spot. Couple dabs of cement and the rear springs are installed. I can move back up to the front end. Scratching away some parting lines there. A little bit of cleanup that I probably should have taken care of before I put the front axle in, but I don't know, missed it. Hopefully the final product will kind of hide some of that stuff. But there you can kind of see some of the mold or parting lines there. And seams. I think that was a seam. Shock absorbers were actually pretty clean. I didn't have hardly any flash between the coils. So cleaning those up were surprisingly easy. Getting them installed was rather easy too. Really good positive locating points on these Moebius parts. For the most part. Some of them not so much, but so here I'm cleaning up where the two parts come together. I call them seams. I guess I really don't know what they're called by everybody else, but it's where the two parts are glued together and they kind of, I don't know, they just don't look right. They look like two pieces where they shouldn't. They should be one piece, so I do go in there and sand those seam lines down as well. So front drive shaft, a little bit of cleanup, a little bit of cement, dropped right in. Some of these parts, like I said, they fit together very, very well. It's like you can throw the two pieces up in the air, and when they land, they'll be put together right where they're supposed to. At least on these Moebius kits. I really enjoy them so far. I decided to do the rear axle correct by putting the drive shaft in before cementing it. Front axle I didn't, so I had to kind of squeeze it in there, but it went. Here I'm applying a little bit of the quick setting cement to the seams. I don't remember who I was watching, but they applied it to the seams and it kind of broke down and rounded them off a little bit. I don't know. It worked a little, probably not as well as I would have liked, so. The rear shocks went in easier than the front ones did, and the front ones went in easy. Not too much cleanup on these either between the springs, just mold lines where the tools come together to form the piece for injection molding. And with that, the chassis is just about complete. The detail on these chassis are really, really cool. You don't see too many front ends built like this. Very cool. Fun to put together. Fun to look at when you're done. So now the next thing on the instruction sheet is to put the wheels together, but I want to paint the hubs, so I'm going to wait on those. But I can put the brake backer plates on there, so. Won't see a lot of these when the kit is together, but again, it's an obsession. I got to get those seams taken care of, when the mold lines, the parting lines from the tooling. I think getting them square to the, I should say perpendicular to the axle is a little bit nerve-wracking, because you never know where you really are. Are you perpendicular to the axle? Are they parallel to each other? If it really becomes a problem, I think I'll probably 3D print some sort of a jig to make sure that those are on exactly the way they should be. But even these brake backer plates went on really, really well. Nice positive stops on those as well. There's a little bit of wobble in there, but I think that's my table. It's not anything else. Here's the spare tire hanger carrier. Didn't fit quite the way I thought it was going to. It's pretty tight fit, but it does go together. Just be gentle. Take her slow. So this one is the spare tire wheel. I'm just going to take that off and pre-fit it. Looks good. I'm going to move on to the engine now. Kind of a lot of cleanup on these parts, but not too bad, I guess. So as you guys are watching this video, these videos that I post, if there's something that you'd like to see, if there's something that I might be doing wrong, some improvement that I could make, let me know in the comments. This transmission was warped considerably. It had a lot of flash on it. The tool must be getting old because the amount of flash, the amount of warpage, the alignment just wasn't there. There was all kinds of cleanup and even some carving that had to be done. A considerable amount of, I'm going to call it carving, because you had to get in there and really dig away at some of that material to get it to go together. And even with the amount of work that I did on it, I still feel like I could have done a better job at that, because I can still see the seams when I glued it together. I don't know. I was hoping that the frame rails underneath the vehicle were going to cover up some of those imperfections, but as you'll see on my next videos, it doesn't. But you are your worst critic, I think. The oil pan didn't take too much cleanup, so that went right on. The heads gave me a couple of fits, but some patience. Nope, cut my finger. Again, it just healed from the last kit I built. So my next videos on this build, I corrected that, came up with an idea, and pretty comfortable. Protect that thumb so I don't cut it open every time I do a model. Going back to the heads, they gave me a little bit of fitment issues, some flash, I don't know what that is on the back, but it had to be cut away. I guess you could say there was some carving that needed to be done on these as well. But a little bit of elbow grease, a little bit of blood, and they glued together. So here's the engine front cover. In one of my next videos, I did run into a problem with that front cover later on. I think it was a problem. I don't know. Maybe it was. Actually, I think it was the water pump that gave me the problems. I don't know. One of those parts in the front of the engine. I don't recall right now, but I don't know what was going on with it. I had to really finagle the belt drive to get it on there right. So with the intake manifold on the engine, I am about as far as I can take this one. So with that, I think that'll do it for this video. So stay tuned for the next set of videos where we'll run deeper into the build, get into prime, paint, a little bit more cleanup, some sub-assembly. Get some parts, cut off the screws here and get them ready to go. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, watching, like, and subscribe. Give me some comments. What can I do better other than not quit cutting my thumb open? Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.